This is what you have to talk on dates with girls. So I was talking with somebody recently, and he was telling me like he went on a date with a woman and she didn't reply afterwards. And I realized this never happens to me, because if I go out with a girl, 90% of the times we end up having sex. And I will break down exactly what you have to do in order to have sex with almost all of the girls that accepted going out with. So of course, there's girls who I went on a date with and we didn't end up having sex. But I either didn't like them or I had too many options at that moment and I just forgot about those girls because I was going out non-stop. So anyway, this is what you have to do. 1. Pick a familiar spot. If you go out with a girl, it's always better to go to a place where you feel comfortable, a place where you usually go, and a place that's state friendly. Don't want to go in a place that's ghetto, risking to have a crew of big men next to you. So go to a place that's a little bit nice, but at the same time, me personally, I don't like going to the fanciest places in town when I go out with a girl, because I feel like when you go to the nicest restaurants, you have to go there to eat. I prefer going there with girls I already had sex with. If you go on a first date, you want to use the time to talk, not to sit there eating steaks, chewing, wasting 20 minutes. It's awkward, don't talk. So go to a coffee shop that's comfortable, but it's not ghetto and also is not too fancy. 2. Pick her up with the car if you have a car, or order her an Uber. In Eastern Europe, especially where I live, it's something common to pick up the girl with your car. And I also like it because I can talk there too. We talk when I pick her up, we talk on a date, then I get her home. So for me, it's the best way. But you can also order her an Uber. At one point in time, I was living in this penthouse, and downstairs I had some nice restaurants, and it was more convenient to just Uber girls there, because I had the restaurant downstairs. So this way I could have like 3-4 dates even in a day. But right now, I live somewhere outside of the city in some neighborhood. It's far away to get an Uber to the girls here. I don't really like it, so I just go pick them up. 3. Don't drink unless she initiates it. So me personally, don't like this idea, like guys say, I'm going to this girl for a drink. Because if you go for a drink, it signals you're shy and you need alcohol to feel like you have confidence. So me, I don't like this. Because I also don't go on a first date with the idea that I'm going to have sex with a girl. Just go to meet her. I just go for a coffee and don't have sex in plan. But it happened multiple times that the girl want to drink, the girl want to do something afterwards. So then yeah, I would drink. Of course, I don't go with the plan of having sex with a girl, but at the same time, of course, I make sure my house is clean, I make sure I have money, of course, all this bullshit. Because if the girl wants to drink, I'm down. Because if she wants to drink, she will usually want to give pussy as well. And even if she doesn't, I will find something to do afterwards. There's nuances to it. Maybe I met her already in some social circle, maybe we met in the club, picked her up there, and we go on a date. Then yeah, I might orchestrate some drinking, but usually some stranger, just go for a coffee. 4. Tell the girl to sit next to you, not in front of you. So I don't like these dates like you see in the movie where they go to some restaurant and the girl sits in front of me and we're just talking like in the movies. I like her next to me because this way I can touch her, this way it's easier to kiss her, this way it's easier to connect, I feel like, if a person is next to you. And also, if you go out like I do late at night, another thing is I don't like this idea of going out during the day, like 4 p.m. or in the morning or stuff like this. Never go out like this. I usually go out at 10 p.m. because it's no traffic and I can do the other stuff before work, go to the gym, stuff like this. So yeah, tell the girl to sit next to you. It's way better than having her in front of you. 5. Ask the girl questions, but keep in mind that it's way more beneficial to keep the conversation flirty, to talk about sex, to talk about relationships, exes, stuff like this. Because if you talk about any other topics, it's not related to what you want. So your goal, I believe, when you go on a date is to at least kiss the girl. Kissing is related to flirting, sex, all this stuff. If you talk about the opposite, if you talk about the career, boring shit, if you talk about her future, it's far away from your objective. I cannot sit there, talk about how she will become a lawyer, and then out of the blue, I stick my tongue in her face. It's not related. It's better for you if you just talk about sex, if you just talk about your exes, stories, what happened. You ask her questions. For example, you ask her why did she break up with her ex, then she will ask you why did you break up up with your ex and you say some bullshit like, yeah, she had like some small pussy, we didn't match up well because I'm a little bit bigger and had this problem, tried to have sex but hurt her. It's better to have these stupid conversations rather than talking about our university. Because girls are used to being sober and saying the same story to everyone. Yeah, I'm studying law. You have to break this frame of her being serious and take her to a place where she's kinky, where she's talking about sex, where she doesn't feel judged. Because with most guys, they end up in the friend zone, with a hot chick especially, because they fall into this frame of talking about her job. Have the next step in mind. This is very important. So when I go out with a girl, I already have the next date planned. So let's say I go with her on a Wednesday, I'm gonna tell her, okay, on Friday we're gonna go out with some friends, they come with their girls, maybe we go to the club. Anyway, come up with something interesting, especially for the weekend, because this gets you closer to sex. I'm not trying to say that you cannot have sex on the first date, especially in the Western world. Even Bucharest is like a westernized city. You can have sex on the first date. Girls are whores in general, of course, because there's no shame attached to giving pussy. But all these things I'm telling you will work even with the girls that don't like you, even the girls that initially didn't want to go out with you, even with women that have a low body count or are virgins. Of course, you can do it easily. Of course, I had sex with girls without even meeting them, or just 10 minutes after I met them, or crazy stuff. But you cannot rely on exceptions. You cannot rely on what works with easy targets. Now I'm saying things that work with everyone. So it's way better if you have the next step in mind, the next date in mind, especially in the weekend, because if you meet a new girl, she will want to do something interesting, and if you come with a good offer for the weekend, you're closer to having sex. So let's say you go on a date on Wednesday, and on Friday you go to the club, you have her there, there's drinks, there's friends. If there's other girls around, then it's easy for her to come to your place afterwards for some after party, and then it's easier to sleep with her. The next thing I want to talk about, and I want to double down on it, is I think you should talk about sex without shame. Because if a girl goes out with you, in the back of her mind, probably likes you a little bit, and you shouldn't be shy. You shouldn't shy away from talking about sex, because you're there to flirt. You're there to talk about sex. Nobody wants to hear business advice. Nobody wants you to give her advice about life, all this bullshit. You have to talk about what matters. What matters is being flirty, making fun, talking about sex. This is the vibe. Girl laughing is like 50% of an orgasm. So like if the girl is laughing non-stop, if she's having a good time, then you're way closer to having sex. Now, these things I said are like the basics, but now I have some tips for guys who are also more professional and richer a little bit. So I will break down what rich guys do. Maybe this doesn't work for you, maybe you're some worm, but I will say it. So use symbols. Let's say I'm out with a girl and I might tell her, yeah, this summer I'm going to Mykonos, maybe you'll come with me if we're together, of course. Or I might tell her, in 2 weeks I'm leaving to Dubai, Marbella. So throw some symbols, because girls, they're susceptible of falling for certain symbols. They like nice places, destinations. These things make them more interested in you, because it gives them hope. Okay, if I'm with this guy, I'm gonna travel. If I'm with this guy, I'm gonna do interesting stuff. Okay, I'm gonna party with this guy. Even at the lower level, even if you mention going to some festival in your country, or even if you mention going to some club that everyone in your city goes to, these symbols make the girl more interested in you. Let's say if you mention, okay, I'm going to this party where this artist is coming in 2 weeks. This makes her think, okay, I'll tell my friends, they'll come too, it's good, this guy is fun, blah blah blah. So rich guys always use symbols. 2, insert certain angles in your stories that make you seem high value. So I'll tell you my situation, but of course this probably doesn't work for losers, but I don't care, I'll just share with you, maybe you get to this level as well. So for example, when I ask a girl about her ex-boyfriend, she will tell me, and then this makes her ask me back, okay, why did you break up with your ex? And I might say, yeah, my ex was crazy, my 2 exes were beefing online, and then I might show her some article, because this actually happened. I have told lots of articles in the newspapers here in Romania, girls arguing over me, all this stuff. And also this puts me in a good place, because all my exes are hot. So imagine I'm with a 8 on a date and all my exes were 9s. It's bad if you flex, let's say, girls in an explicit way. It makes you look like an idiot. You cannot go there and say, look, I fucked this girl and this girl. retarded. Ideally, you do it in a clever way. And also, better than this, what happens to me all the time is my reputation speaks for me. So most of the time when I go out with girls, they already know I had sex with a few girls they know. Few girls they heard about, at least. They know this. So this already puts me in a position of power in front of them. Oh, I know you've been with this girl and this girl. Oh, they're very hot, stuff like this. So when your reputation speaks for you and she's heard about you in the city, you're in the position of power. Me personally, I never brag. I don't have to go there and explain to the girl who I am. I don't have to explain, yeah, I have money, all this stuff. Because my reputation speaks for me. If you end up in a position like this, it's way easier to navigate. It's way easier if the paparazzi talks about you. It's way easier if you have a little bit of clout. It's way easier if you already had sex with girls. All these things speak before you open your mouth. So 3, disrupt the flow. Let's say you're on a date with a girl and she starts to flex with her rich ex. So this might happen to you. Like, girls wanna prove themselves in front of you. They wanna say things like, yeah, this guy messaged me, yeah, my ex was rich, blah blah blah. When she says this, you have multiple options. Most guys feel uncomfortable. Me, when something like this happens, and I'ma just grab her by the biceps and say to her, like, have to lose some weight, have big biceps. You go to the gym, man, say some bullshit like this. Instead of playing her game, she just disrupt the flow. Or if it's a girl with flaws, even better. For you guys, you can use this because you always go out with girls that have flaws. Let's say I go out with a girl, she has a bigger nose. She starts saying stuff, and I just grab her by the nose. And I tell her, from now on, your nickname is Nose. Nose, bring me a coffee. This is how I will tell you when you'll be my girlfriend. This is what you have to do. Don't let her sit there and brag in front of you. Even if she goes and talks about topics that are irrelevant for you, you have to disrupt the flow. Grab her by the nose. You guys go out with the girl. She doesn't have fake tits. And she starts talking about something. Just look like this into her tits and say, when you put fake tits on. And she's like shocked. So you ask her, how come you don't have fake tits? Everyone has nowadays. And she will feel a little bit insecure. And most guys don't want to address the elephant in the room. Every time you're out with a girl that isn't flawless, of course the disadvantage is you're there with some frog. But the advantage is there's like 1,000 angles to embarrass her. So let's say I go with a girl, she's a little bit chubby. I might grab her by the belly and ask her, when you go to the gym. Because this is the elephant in the room. She doesn't want to hear this. And most men are scared. Most men go out with some 7 and they think, oh, if she gets upset, she won't give pussy. I don't give a fuck if she gives pussy or not. Go there, make fun, don't care. If I see some insecurity, I'm gonna point it out. Of course, in a funny way. I don't sit there humiliating her, but it's funny. You have to do this, especially if she's trying to be sneaky on you. She's trying to flex with her ex. She's trying to say bullshit like, yeah, this guy messaged me, blah, blah, blah. The problem with dating girls is you will get good at it once you go at least hundreds of dates. Then you'll be a funny guy. Then you'll know how to behave. But in order to do this, you need money, because if you're a broke guy, the last thing in your mind is wasting time every day meeting new women. So if you want to make money, if you want to improve in terms of your network, and if you want to improve your power as a man, go in the link below and join Rich Gang. It's my online community. It has like hundreds of people from all over the world. It's high-level entrepreneurs that make money online. So talk to the live chat on the website and join Rich Gang.